Welcome back to the Eye of Jupiter podcast. I'm your host, Tom Franklin, and today we have a very special guest, one Mr. Bill Rigby. So let's cut to the chase and let's get him on. Let's see. Why is it not going on? Remove. Hold on. Oh, got to change. There. Oh, there it is. I'm still learning it, Bill. I'm getting there.
StreamYard is fun, especially when you don't know it. And how you doing, Tom?
I'm a little tired, dude. I'm a little tired, and out there, like I said, I told you earlier, I've still got concrete dust on my arms. I was laying block today, and just down here in Mexico trying to make ends meet. What about you, man?
Living the good life of being retired.
Well, I'm glad you can do that, dude. So
no, I can't, but I am.
So, Bill, do us a favor, introduce yourself, and tell us where we can find you.
I am Bill Rigby, even though it says grumpy old man down there, but I am the owner and founder of Agents of the Unexplained. It's a cryptic paranormal research group. I got a Facebook page. I do a podcast it's on YouTube. We basically do the same thing you do, Tom.
Okay.
Explore it all. When I was a young teenager going to school, early one spring, we were all out, nice sunny morning, waiting for the school bus. And up over the hill, I saw a UFO.
Okay.
And it was a good 3/4 of a mile away from us, up over, we call it Quartz House. That's their last name. They used to have a cement block factory there. And it was up over that. And I'm looking, I'm like, hey guys, look at this. And they're saying it. So I run back in the house. My mom was at the kitchen sink doing the breakfast dishes. And I said, Mom, look up over Quartz. There's a UFO. And she's looking, and she turned around, dead serious, and said, don't say a word. You didn't see it. Keep your mouth shut. Now, this is early 70s.
Right. So when your mom said that had some weight to it.
Yes.
I remember.
Yeah. And so it's like, okay. In a way, I'm glad I listened to her. Because a guy that lived almost across the road from Quartz took a picture of it. He sent it into the local newspaper, to the local TV stations. This man started getting ridiculed. And finally, one of the people said, I can't remember if it was in the paper or on the news, but I remember this, and it totally freaked me out. They said it was a metal garbage can that he threw in the air and took a picture of.
Oh, my God.
Okay, I'm 3/4 of a mile away. If he did that, I sure in the hell would not see it.
Yeah.
Even then, I'm thinking, no way. How could I see that? A 28-inch round garbage can lid. There ain't no way. 3/4 of a mile away. Not hovering that high.
Which state was this in, Bill?
Pennsylvania.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I lived there for 1 year. I'm from Baltimore.
I'm sorry.
I said I lived there for 1 year.
No, I said I'm sorry because you're from Baltimore. I'm sorry.
I thought y'all totally had some technical issues. What part, man? I was in Huntington County. That's where I lived.
All right, that's the other side.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I'm right on the PA-Ohio line right now.
Okay.
This was
Steelers fan.
Die hard.
Oh, that's why you said what you said. All right.
Yeah, I'm not a Dirty Bird fan. But I was rooting for him.
My friend here is some Kansas City Chief fan, and he's from Holland. And he's like, come on, let's go down and have a beer and watch the game. He didn't rub it in my face, but I was just like, come on, man. Yeah, it sucked. Whatever. It happens. It's just a game. And at the end, it's just a sport, man.
Yes, man.
So there's the trash can lid thing. Your mom said keep it quiet, and this guy was
okay. Yeah, and And I talked to him a few times after that, and he says, I'll never share nothing with no one again. I said, but I saw it. You got to share it with me. And if you find anything else, I said, because he goes, well, he called me Billy because that's what I was called back then. He said, Billy, I'm not sharing with you either. Wow. I'm not going to be called a crazy ass no more. Oh, man. But I understand now.
A lot different back then than it is today.
Oh, yeah, it is. A lot of things are a lot more open today.
Yes.
Thanks to the internet.
True.
Truthfully, even though I'm on a lot, I don't like the internet. but I'm on a lot.
There was a thing. I agree with you, Bill. There was a thing back in the day. You get off school on a Friday, and you would meet at recess or lunch, or mostly lunch.
Yeah.
And you're like, okay, what are you guys doing? Oh, we're going to a baseball game. We're going to do this and that. And if you didn't know, and you weren't at the phone, then your weekend was ruined. It ain't like now where everyone knows where everyone is 24 hours a day. It was good times.
Yeah, everyone knew where I was at this morning. Even you.
Even I.
Even you did because I posted it. But right. yeah. But all honesty, So back then we didn't have the internet, and even back then the news was a little biased towards stuff like this.
True.
But even when the Patterson-Gimlin film came out, oh man, yes, they're out there. I know they are, but they're out the Pacific Northwest or out in Canada. But they're around Pennsylvania or Ohio, because I'm right on the Ohio line. I'm in a little town called Sharon, Pennsylvania. I grew up on 30 minutes south of here, Newcastle, Pennsylvania, where we grew up. Even though we're originally from Sharon, my dad moved us there when I was 4 years old. The thing, I went in the woods all the time there. I still go in the woods all the time. I never saw anything that resembled Bigfoot or anything like that. Man, I'm 65 now. So I basically lived in the woods whenever I could, And so I always believed, but I never thought they'd be around here. Well, back in the late 90s, I moved to Indiana County, PA, which is in the Chestnut Ridge of the Allegheny Mountains.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right. In that area. And believe me, if I wasn't working, I was in the woods. And I mean, constantly. It's beautiful. I love it. That's my solace.
Yes.
And I start seeing different structures from the branches and the trees and stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute. I've hunted West Virginia. I hunted in Ohio, PA. I was up in New York camping. And I'm seeing this stuff all over the place. I'm like,
what are you seeing?
These tree structures, like the teepees, the X's, and the horizons. So here about 5 years ago, I start researching it right before I retired. And I started, everything kept coming back up toward Bigfoot.
Wow.
Around here. So I'm doing some more researches on YouTube. 5 years ago, you found some really whacked out people on YouTube.
It was good times.
Research. Yeah, but they were whacked out, I'm telling you. One guy constantly, they live on my property. And every time one's supposed to pop out, he shut the video down. I think I know that one. I think I know that one. I think I actually know that one. I can't
remember
the name of it, or I'd use it. Believe me, because it proved that we got these hoaxers even back there 5 years ago.
Which is such a disservice to actual experiencers too. That's such a horrible thing to do.
So much. So finally, I went, this dude's an ass, and I said, he almost got me totally disgusted. I was going, quit researching. Well, I was on Facebook and I started checking groups, and I found a couple of Bigfoot groups. Oh, I'm going to check into this. Well, the one group, which I don't belong to anymore, which I ended up being one of the top admins in the group for a while, and then I had to step down from it. I started going out researching with them and that, and I started meeting other researchers. And to this point, I have not seen one.
Okay.
And the more I go out and learn, the better. And me and a good friend, Brenda Sproul, was out, and we found a trackway of prints that went for over 100 yards.
Whoa. They
were 14 inches long, 7.5 inches wide. Okay. Beautiful. They sunk down into that. It was on the reservoir up here and on the beach, which usually there's no beach there when it's the summer pool. This was in March, 3 years ago. It sunk down about 3/4 of an inch. I weigh 175 pounds, and I'm walking beside it. I'm barely going down 1/4 of an inch beside it with my weight. Okay. First time ever trying casting.
It's like 600 pounds, something like that, right? If you're doing some type of math, 175, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. In that area. And I'm thinking, wow, this is great. And I actually videoed it. I got it somewhere in my archives here of the trackway. But we went to cast it, my very first time casting. And when you know it, I screwed it up. But Brenda did get a casting of it. But there's a stone right in the middle of it. And she's all upset. I says, we could still show it. So what? Right. Yeah, but you can't see the right. Yeah, you can. But she's all upset about it. She still has it sitting on her counter at her house. Yeah, it's like, I'm going to get it off her one of these days. I'm telling you. But turn around. I end up going to different places. Me and my friend Debbie Craigie, we run out researching a lot together that year. She was talking to an old friend of hers, Dad, and he saw a Bigfoot on his little 30-acre plot of land. So we went to check it out, and we went up toward the one wood line, and there was a 15-inch print right in the mud.
Okay, a bigger one.
Yeah, and so we go on up. We took pictures of. We go on up, and we're walking all around, see different little signs and that. I'm like, but not major signs. It's like, I wonder if they're just using this as a pass through, because there's a power line. If you're looking at the guy's property, there's a power line to the right of his property. Okay. Across the power line's private land. I'm thinking they're going over there hunting. I'll guarantee it. You know, after we were there a few times, and Debbie says, "You want to go over there?" I said, "We're going up the hill a ways, and then we'll go over." I said, "We're not supposed to be there, so let's be cool about it." Found structures, found tree breaks. But we don't have the structures and the tree breaks over on his property. So I do believe they were using his property as a pass-through from one area to the other for hunting. I really do believe that. We still go there on and off to check and research it more. So, you know, I was out several times. We went up to northwest Pennsylvania to Cambridge Springs and did an investigation up there where there was a big one. The lady sent a picture of it sitting up in the tree line watching the cows. Wow. And we went up there and checked out the area. Prime Bigfoot area. Nice woods, a lot of wildlife.
Okay, so it has like a lot of animals to support whatever their
the vegetation, the water sources, you know, the whole 9 yards. It's a really good area. Well, come up to August 3 years ago, I got invited to Salt Fork State Park in Ohio by Southern Ohio Society of Bigfoot Investigators. His name. I think I know them.
Yes.
Doug Waller's group. And I got invited to go there by Jack Warren. So I told the person that had the group that I was associated with that I was going on the camp out there for the weekend. Oh, I'm going. All right. Save me a spot when you get there. Okay, whatever. I get there, and Debbie, she ended up coming too, and she got there shortly after I did and get set up. And the one guy, Mike Bennett from that group, says, "You guys want to go out riding around and checking the area out?" Yeah, why not? You know, that's what we're here for. And so we go riding around that day. Getting close to evening, we go back to camp. He goes, "You want to go down Buckeye Trail?" Yeah, it's just starting to get dark. He says, "This is what we're going to do," because they're known to circle the camp and watch us here because it's at the group camp area. And they do camping there once a month. And they have spotted them. They've seen other signs, found tracks and everything right near the. I'm like, yeah, sure. And my wildest dreams, I did not think I'll see one. I really did not. Everyone goes to Salt Fork to look for a Bigfoot. Okay. I ain't going to see one. I just wanted to hear the Ohio howl.
Okay, yes.
I wanted to hear that. That's the main reason I went. We're going down the trail. We go in about 90 paces, stop, listen. Debbie had this scope, monocular scope, and she was using. All of a sudden, a stone or a nut came up, flying up, and landed near us. Okay. All right. Then another one. I went, I ain't saying nothing. Hopefully, Debbie didn't notice, or she'll be running back out of there. We go up another 90 paces and looking down, and listening, not really hearing anything or seeing anything. All of a sudden, another nut come flying up over and landing us. Debbie says, "Someone's throwing something at us." I says, "I don't think it's a person down over there because the swamp's down that way." She goes, "Well, something is." And Mike says, "I got my gun on me. Don't worry about it. If it's a person, I'll shoot them for trying to hit us." Okay.
Always seems fair. Always seems fair. You throwing acorns?
I'm going to throw that. And I'm thinking the same thing like that. You know, it's like, wow. But we go another about 90 paces and stop. And now Debbie's getting real paranoid because some more got thrown up. This is all coming from the left side of us. I says, "Give me that scope. I'm going up ahead. If I hear anything or see anything, I'll wave you up. If I don't, I'll tell you to come up." I get up there. I kneel down, and I got that scope up like this here, start like that. The corner of my right eye, I saw a little movement, and I turned and looked. 15 feet right inside the tree line, there was one knelt down, leaning in, looking at me. And oh my God.
You kind of broke up. Did you say you're about? You say you crapped yourself? Feet. What did you say, Bill?
I almost crapped myself because I looked up.
Almost crapped yourself. Okay.
Almost.
Sorry, there was a little bit of a breakup. Wow.
Almost. Because when I looked over, he was 15 feet right inside the tree line. Leaned in looking at me.
That's nothing. That's two. That's what for them, like what, a step, 2 steps, and he can get you
maybe. And yeah, see why I almost crapped myself. And truthfully,
can you describe what it looked like to me? What did it look like to you?
Did you see the picture of the Mayak skunk ape?
I know what a skunk ape looks like, but I don't know that particular one.
Well, I'll share the picture with you.
Sure.
The head shape is very much the same, the body shape pretty much the same. Had a boxer's nose, as I call it, from like a
also wide here.
Yes.
Wide on the bridge.
Yep.
Okay.
Color eyes, I don't know because I would not stare it in the eyes.
I can imagine you wouldn't.
All the years of hunting and knowing you don't stare down a predator. And to me, that was a predator.
No. I was in the military. You don't stare down a drill sergeant either.
That's why me and the drill sergeant never got along.
Oh, you were in the military too?
Yes, I was Army.
Okay.
Yes.
Me too.
No, but you know, the thing is that my mind went like, oh shit, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
And I stood up. It stood up. I went, oh. I'm all right. I'm 62 years old. You can see this old guy running backwards without falling down back to Debbie and Mike. And
so
I mean, I did not.
2021?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
I mean, if you can't really do much anyway, with the COVID stuff, you might as well go up in the woods and look for Bigfoot, I suppose.
Yes, exactly.
What is the reason that just drew you into it? Just like curiosity, or the things you've heard, or the Patton film? What was it that made you go, I'm going to go do this?
The need to know.
The need to know.
I'm worse than a cat. I'm worse than a cat in curiosity. I'm worse than a cat with curiosity. I'm telling you.
Okay.
And so I backpedaled back to them, and it's getting dark, and inside the wood line's getting darker than it is on the trail, of course, because of the canopy of the trees. And I'm going, lights! I'm yelling for Mike to turn his spotlight on. And he did. And he's shining down in there. I said, you see it? You see it? He says, because it turned and went down in an angle down over the hill. Thank God for that one. I said, you see it? You see it? He says, yes, I saw Bigfoot's ass. What? No. Tom, my adrenaline is way above my head. You know, I'm like,
what
bouncing.
Do you mean? Yeah.
I was bouncing because I was so scared. I'm going to admit it. I was scared. That's something.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I've been startled. I've never been scared. That scared me. And that kind of brought me down a little bit. He says, yeah, he was going down over the hill. I saw his ass. What? But you saw it. He went, yeah. I said, okay. I'm not saying things. My imagination ain't going crazy. He says, no, but you are right now. Calm down. Yeah. Well, we calmed down. We calmed down a little bit. We're going back out. And I'm not mentioning the person's name that we went up to their truck and told them because we kind of had a falling out and they're talking some crap about me. And so I won't mention names. Well, telling them, go, oh, yeah, I could tell you did see one. But yeah. Calm down. And a couple people come up and they heard us talking. They go, you want to go check it out? No.
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 Good.
No. No, I ain't going back down there right now. No. Well, the next day, a group of us went down, measured up on that tree that was right next to it, and it's around 7 foot tall. And I'm going to say it went 500-600 pounds.
Wow.
The hair color was brown. The skin color was a darker brown. The muscle tones on it, Arnold Schwarzenegger would have been proud. It didn't have a neck, but you see the trapezes, man. It's just huge.
I've heard that a lot too. Some of them don't have like a neck on them. Like that just seems to be just like sitting around on top of the shoulders.
Yeah. The trapezes seemed so huge, and the shoulders was about 4 foot wide.
Holy crap! That's an odd shape. 4 foot wide and 7 foot tall.
I'd say it was a teenager. I think it was a teenager. I really do. And I think I was doing the old First Nations trick of count and coup, it's called.
Okay, what's that?
Where they sneak up on you without you knowing it and get as close as they can to you. And I think that's what that was doing.
Do you think, Bill, that maybe he wanted you to see him? Because 15 feet. Okay, if you and I are deer hunting and you're trying to, you can see them eating sometimes. You're in between their bedding and what they're doing in a day or whatever. Yeah. You can kind of walk up to, but you would not get within. Once again, we're also not them, but at the same time, they would be aware of that. I don't know. Just there's a part of me that thinks that this entity.
It's a possibility. It's a possibility. Yeah, I'm not discounting that. So that really set a lot more things in motion for me.
Okay.
After it took me like 3 weeks to get over, and not get over, but get through the PTSD of seeing it.
Yeah, to like digest what happened. I can imagine. I can only imagine, Bill.
Like I said, I'm not afraid of nothing. And that thing scared me. And that was the worst part of it all. Seeing it was a shock.
Right.
But the way I got scared, in 62 years of my life, I never got scared. I got scared then. And I've had a hard time, and I still got a little bit of a hard time realizing I'm not superhuman. I'm just human.
But there's also nothing wrong with that, Ernie. Bill, there's also nothing wrong with that.
No.
You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with that.
No, but I ran in the middle of a gunfire to snag a kid up between these guys shooting at each other out in the middle of a street. And I wasn't scared.
No.
I ran out there, scooped them up, kept them close to my body, and on through the gunfire.
Right. And
I heard the bullets whizzing near me.
Right, right.
Yeah. So, that didn't even scare me. All kind of crazy stuff I've been into that I'd rather not say that, I should have been scared and I wasn't.
Okay.
But so I had a hard time dealing with it. But I had several people keep calling me, talking to me about it, and they said, just talk about it. Get it. The more you talk about it, the better you're going to start feeling.
I'd imagine it's very cathartic. I'd imagine it's very just like someone listening. Just someone listening to some people sometimes just
yes.
helps.
And so I did. Well, I went to a camp out about a month after that, a different one. I was invited. We're not Bigfoot, and they're not, even though it was a bunch of Bigfooters. We're just getting together to socialize, to have fun, BS, that. Well, the very first night, around the big campfire, there were about 25 of us. And the one asked me, would you mind telling your story? Since you just recently had that sighting. You don't have to, you don't want to. And I'm thinking, I really don't want to. But it kept going through my head I was told. All right, I'll do that. So we went ahead and a short version of it. And that led me into talking more about it. But
okay.
So that they were right. It does help. The other thing is too, we became good friends from that camp out. It's Joe Kesky. He had a sighting right after he got out of the service. And his sighting where this Sasquatch came charging across the pond at him and his buddy.
Oh, that's much different.
Yeah, much different. And I'm sitting there, and he's going in real deep details. And I'm sitting there with my head down like this, and tears start coming down my eyes, thinking about what that thing could have done to me. I'm
Right.
like, why am I crying? You know, it happened to him, not me. And
Because you can feel it. You can
oh,
feel it.
big time.
You can connect his experience with what you had, and putting that together makes you
exactly what
emotion.
happened.
Yes,
exactly what happened, and I'm telling you, it was rough, you know, but it felt good to say what I had to say. But to hear his, it really kind of just really balled up my emotions some more.
yeah.
The next spring, I started my group. Agents of the Unexplained, because I seen the UFO, I experienced ghosts, and of course Bigfoot. So that's why I started my group, which I try to study everything, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I seen that you also into the paranormal as well. I had a poltergeist experience when I was 8.
Yeah.
That messed me up pretty bad for years. Yeah,
no doubt.
seen the Hat Man before. Out here, I have a 10-acre property here in the Yucatan Peninsula, and I've experienced some weird stuff out there too. Some weird stuff. It's hard to describe because they don't really have that in the part of the world where I'm from, where you're at.
Right.
They call them a Lucius, which is kind of like a small, like troll kind of entity that the Mayans created to protect the property. And then the Mayans have then died, but they still protect the property. So I had to like talk to some like locals about it, and they told me what to do. But it's different. It's definitely, you know, rocks being thrown. I've seen lights. I've heard voices. So there's some.
Is that like a spirit, or is that like a cryptid type creature?
It's kind of a homunculus, like a mix between the two. Like it's like a
right.
I think it's a 9-day thing where they make something out of clay and mud, and then they offer it like corn, and they do like prayers and stuff like that. And after the 9th day, it disappears. This clay form they make, and it turns into like have you ever seen Cupid? It looks like that. A cherub, I think they call them.
Yeah.
And they're maybe 2-3 foot high. They look like a Buddha kind of, and they kind of protect the property. And people around here will have like little houses where they, you know, open them and put corn and stuff in there. They like keep them at bay. It's like a real big thing here, like witches and black magic. Yeah, this place is pretty crazy, man. I mean, everyone knows a witch here in Mexico. Everyone knows a witch. So yeah, so I mean, I kind of understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
I want to, if it's possible, Bill, I'd like to get back to your opinion about what do you think these markings that you're finding, and what are those for? To like maybe tell other ones that they're here, or like to mark a path? What do you think those are?
I'm not totally sure. I could speculate that there's some sort of markers to say they are here or not to go here. The X's I don't buy into as a stop, don't go, because I've heard reports from other ones that they saw them standing in the middle of an X.
Okay.
Now, a lot of these X's are trees that are blown over that end up crossing.
Yeah.
But a lot of tree structures I can debunk. Could be weather, could be animal, could be human. You know, or it could be unknown. The unknown, okay, that's a possibility. Could have been a Bigfoot. I won't say it was. I will not say it was unless I see him do it. What the structures are for, I really do not know. Okay. I'm speculating that they're markers like, all right, like the TP ones could be like a hunting blind to help conceal them. Especially if they're out away from another tree. If you find a bunch of branches stacked up around this tree like a TP, if it's a pine tree, that's just a pine that's falling. down around the pine tree 99.9% of the time. X's, like I said, unless you see a 20-foot tree with the ball root up in the air, that's not natural. I don't care. That's not natural. That's a possible Bigfoot.
Okay.
And like I said, I don't think X means don't go there. I think it's some other reasoning, because other ones seen them standing under the X's. And that's a very reliable report that we talk. The thing is, the horizons.
Horizons.
Those are the trees that are bent like that.
Okay.
Check and see how they're pinned down. If they're pinned down by some of them takes a twig, pokes it down and holds it down in. A broken off piece of branch, they'll put it down in.
Kind of like a snare.
Kind of, yeah. But a lot of times it's either pointing toward water, those types there, or to another trail, like an animal trail.
That's interesting.
Now, you got one that's pinned down with a deadfall. I don't.
Right.
I don't, no. So, yeah, that part with the way they're pinned down is very interesting. And I did a lot of researches on those ones.
Okay.
And so those ones are interesting. The X's, I can look at and say, oh, no, that's natural or weather.
So you say they're pointing towards water most of the time, or towards like a game trail?
Like a game trail or water.
Wow. That's interesting. I've never heard that one before. That's a new one on me. That's a new one on me.
I did find that, and those ones are more interesting to me than the TP structures and stuff like that.
Yes, because there's an intention to it.
Yes, and I document that. I document all that.
How do you document? Would you write down the area and the time you've seen it? Or, okay.
And where I see, the area I've seen it in, time I've seen it, the weather, the whole 9 yards.
And you share this with other people in your group, or how does it? Is there like?
And my webpage just went up yesterday finally.
Oh wow!
And
congratulations.
I got several associate researchers from other groups because we all work together. We try to share information, and I share with them, they share with me, and that's what we do. And so we can learn and understand. And then, I found a nest once. A
nest.
Yes, and that was very interesting because it was right near a hunter's blind, and a
ground blind,
ground blind, ground blind, which is not it is made from natural wood and trees. That's ground blind.
Okay.
And you're not allowed that in PA.
Okay. Every state's different.
But it's like, So I was talking to this other associate researcher. He says the ones he found and the ones he's been able to document, there was a tree stand or a hunter's blind near there in the same general area.
I've heard this before too. I've heard this before too.
Yeah. I went, really? Okay. He says it's like they know because the hunter puts that there, they're going to make their nest there because they can rest there, have their baby there, and be able to hunt right there and get food and protein. I went, that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
It's definitely a thought. You got me thinking, Bill, like, why would they do that?
Yeah.
Sometimes the things that you can't see sometimes are also in plain sight. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like that could have bit you? That if it was a snake, it would have bit me, kind of thing.
Yes, exactly. And the thing is, I didn't actually find the nest myself. We were up there doing an investigation, and it's 2 hours from where I live, where the investigation was. Even though, actually, I knew the area because I lived over near there. I told you about. And I contacted a friend there, saying, "You like to go out on the research with us when we go up there off of Hoss Pike?" He goes, "Oh yeah." Well, and I told him how we're going in, and I had a couple other people with me, and we're going in. He takes off on his own way, and they go, "He's out of sight." I said, "He knows this area. He's from here. I'm not worried about it. He has my phone number. He'll call me." Well, about half hour in, he called me and says, "I found a couple things that you need to come look at." I went, "All right, where you at?" And he told me. I went, "All right, I'll come to you." And the other three goes, "You want us to go?" I said, "No, because they're very inexperienced. I should have brought them along up to that." But I says, and I was showing them tree breaks.
Right.
And I'm having them study tree breaks because the first one we found, you can see it was twisted and broke down. And I asked them to take a look at it and see what they think. Could this be weather, animal, natural,
right,
or possible? And they're looking, they're going, "Oh, I think an animal did it."
It's like, I'm sorry, that joke came to my mind. You're like the Mr. Miyagi of Bigfoot.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, they said something like that. At the end of the day, they said something like that.
That's cool, but sometimes asking those kind of questions makes people learn it better because it like makes an imprint in their mind where they have to actually
exactly. And they're looking at and I think it was animal. I says, "No, you're all wrong." What? Take a look at the center of this tree. Take a look. It was only like 2-inch round. It says, "Take a look at the center." They're looking. It's rotted. I went, "Exactly."
What does that mean?
The center was rotted out.
What does that mean? What does that mean?
I mean, the wind probably blew it over.
Oh, okay, Bill. See, I'm learning right now, dude.
Yeah.
No.
The wind probably blew it over. You can't. I'm not saying it wasn't Bigfoot or wasn't, but more than likely it wasn't because the center is so rotted out.
So you're saying if it was green in the middle, if it's a green one, a green tree, I guess that's what we call it.
Yeah.
Then your brain starts going, okay, that can't be that.
Yes, exactly. We found a second one. And that's when Micah called me and said, "Come to him." And I says, "You guys study this." And I says, "Power line's right over here. If I'm not back as you figure out what caused it, go out on that trail and just walk up and down a little bit till I get here." I said, "Let me go check this out." It's probably nothing. We get over there, and I'm looking for him. I go, "Where you at?" He says, "I hear you. Come to your left." So I come up to the left. He says, "Look at this." Oh, "That's a nest." He goes, "What? That's a nest?" He says, I said, "Yeah, it is." Some of the trees that were in there, forming the big circle,
okay,
was 2.5 feet around by 8 feet.
Okay.
A human is not going to move that to make a circle for a hunting blind.
No, it makes no sense.
No. And we got pictures and that. And I said, "We got to head back and find these other ones." I said, "They're green, buddy. They haven't been out in the woods around here." He says, "And you left them?" I said, "Yeah, I did." Maybe they get lost. Maybe they won't. He's laughing at me.
Trial by fire.
Yeah. We get back over to where that tree break was at. They're not there. I went, "Shit. All right. I hope I don't lose them." We go on out to the power line. I'm looking up and down. They're not there. Oh boy. So I yell out, they're up at another power line that crosses that.
Okay.
And I heard them, so we went up. I go, so what do you think of that tree break? First, tell us what you found. No, you tell me about that tree break. They said it was not natural. I went, really? How can you tell? It's green clean through. I says, how big around was it, would you say? And the one guy says, that was about 2 inches around. I says, what about above it?
You mean the diameter?
Yeah. Yeah, okay. The diameter. It was only about 2 inches around.
Yeah, okay, 2 inches. Mm-hmm.
All right. And I go, all right, what about the canopy above that and that? I says, you think it could have been snowfall or wind caused it? They go, no way in hell. It's green. There's no other ones close to it that's bent over or broke. And there's a nice twist in it. I says, very good, folks. Very good. Paying attention. So then we told them about what we found. And I started showing them the pictures. They went, wow. But the other thing I found with that group, there was a turkey bones laying on top of turkey feathers. Just the bones and just some feathers.
That's not natural either.
No. Just near that tree break. It was close to it. And I asked them what they thought of that. They says, could some animal do it? I said, why would it lay on top of feathers? Why would they stack the bones like that?
Right. Normally,
none of us got an answer. Can we say it was Bigfoot? Not really. But that's not natural.
Right. Because normally they would just eat it. There might be a feather here and there, like a bear. A bear would eat it, bones and all.
Yes.
And it'll be in its scat, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. And believe me, there's bears in that area. But that was not done by a bear. That wasn't done by a coyote. It wasn't done by an eagle even. Yeah. Come on. So I can't say exactly what the hell it was.
Sorry, that's just funny. I just picture an eagle coming down and taking a turkey and then leaving the bones on top.
Yeah, leave your feathers and put your bones.
That's a special eagle right there.
Trained it personally. No.
So, can I ask you a question, Bill?
Yes.
Say I'm from another planet, okay, or something like this. How would you best describe what these are? What would you say to somebody who's never seen one?
All right. I'm going to tell you exactly how I tell everyone. Okay. When I go out and do a presentation. Yes, I saw one. What I presume it was flesh and blood.
Okay.
All right. Did it jump through portals? I don't know. Is it extraterrestrial? I don't know. I didn't see it get beamed up. I didn't see it jump through a portal. What I saw and when it walked away was flesh and blood. So I presume it's flesh and blood. Are they from another planet? I don't know.
Okay. That's very fair. It's very fair because you'll run into a lot of the people in this, for lack of a better word, community.
Yes.
That will stand on a rock or a soapbox and beat you over the head with what their experience was. And you're I really appreciate your point of view. I mean that, Bill. All right.
So
this is what I saw.
I could say something to what you just said.
Okay, go ahead, Bill.
Because I had one research area I go to, I was invited to, and they want me there all the time now, but it's a little over an hour away from here. And he has 200 acres. He was doing a picnic type thing going on that one day, and I was there. This guy came and he told him, hey, there's Bigfoot people here. So this guy went on a tangent saying Bigfoot jumps through portals. That's all that he does. That's how I get from one place to the other. And I'm sitting there listening and I keep my mouth shut. And then he's getting in other one's faces. And I mean, he's pushing it hard. You know, like he's up on his own soapbox.
Okay.
And the one guy, taco. He goes, "You hearing this?" I'm like, "Yeah." "What are you going to say?" I said, "Nothing." He's a lot of his opinion. But then he started getting into one guy's face. And the one guy says, "I don't want to hear that. I don't care." And he kept it up. So I stood up. I went, "Excuse me." He turned and looked. "Yeah." So the Bigfoot jumps through portals. Yep, they do. Did you see that? No. Okay, whoa, hold it. You didn't see that? Have you seen a portal? No. Have you seen a Bigfoot? No. So how do you know? Well, that's how they do. I said, "Sit your ass down now." I says, "You could say you believe because you haven't seen it done, number one. Number two, you're not going to preach to me or all of these people here that's exactly what they're doing. Just say that's what you believe. Because I'm going to tell you right now, I saw one and it didn't jump through no damn portal. So sit your ass down." And I went back and sat down. And the guy that's putting it on sat down next to me. He says, "You know who he is?" I went, "No." He says, "He's the county commissioner." I went, "I don't care. County commissioner or not." I said, "He's an asshole." He started laughing.
That's the thing about anything in life. You know, you could be the best guy. You could be a person who makes cookies, and you make the best cookie in the world. You believe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But why is it that when like this ego-driven narrative comes out, just like, can we not sit down and not try to figure out what this is, because it seems to be ramping up, or at least I don't know if it's ramping up, but at least it's getting more legs, or it's getting more like people are starting to connect. For some reason, there seems to be like this celebrity thing about it, like this red carpet affair that's being attached to it now.
Thank you, internet.
That's why you don't like the internet.
No, I do for that reason. It made Bigfoot mainstream, where people can't actually deny it, even though a bunch still do. You can't deny it. They're out there.
I believe you. I really do.
But on the other hand, it brings out all these idiots too that likes to hoax and set things up. So, no, I'm sorry. I don't go for that.
No.
And now a lot of things are getting harder to decipher with the AI.
Hard to authenticate, I guess you would say.
Yeah, very much so.
Mm-hmm.
And it upsets me with that. It really does, because it's hard enough on the true researchers and investigators. It's hard enough. Then we had those people hoaxing. Now we got the AI. And you really got to study things a lot closer and keep, like I said, got to think outside the box. You got to go in with no blinders on.
Mm-hmm.
Look at the whole picture. And because it's getting harder and harder out there.
Okay. Do you think there'll ever be like some like overwhelming, compelling evidence where even Joe Blow sitting on this back porch whittling a piece of wood will have to go, "Oh yes, they're real"? What would that be other than like something in a cage or something like that? I mean, because we're going down this AI route, which I'm sure has its applications. I do not know what the future is going to hold for us as a species.
No, I don't either.
I haven't the slightest clue. But what would be like the smoking gun? What would you think that would be?
A body.
A body.
Unfortunately, a body.
Unfortunately.
To me, I don't need a body. I know they're out there.
Oh yeah, dude.
I know they're there. Before I saw that one, I was all about the DNA. All about maybe if they find a body, they can show it. I don't want them to kill one, but I want, we need that big proof. We still need that big proof for everybody.
Well, yeah, for 9 to 5 people who have a steady job, who live in the city and things like that. But for somebody like you, an actual experiencer, you understand it, because there is people, Bill. I mean,
there is.
You can read people. You know what I'm saying? You've been around. being former military, you learn how to read signs and things.
Yep.
And there's people out there you can tell when they talk that they're full of shit, full of crap. And then there's people like, and then there's people like you where you're just like, I just maybe, hopefully, I thought I might hear a howl and then scared myself to death. That's incredible.
I still get harassed by some people about my sighting and about being in with the Bigfoot community. I got big shoulders. I can handle it.
There you
go. I know there's a lot of people that can't, so they keep their mouths shut, and it's a shame. But like the one restaurant I go to, they're just about, I ain't gonna say every morning, but damn close. Go down and have coffee and breakfast, BS with some friends. On their Christmas display, on the one shelf, they had this winter scene with the snow and the Christmas tree. They had a little statue of a Bigfoot up there for me. So
kind of razzing you a little bit,
and the one waiter, he goes, "Do you see anything up there?" And I'm smiling. "No, I don't see it. It can't be seen because it's not blurry," and stuff like that,
man. So, Bill, sorry, before I get you up out of here, go ahead and do me a favor. I know I don't know how to make a soft landing. That's something I'm still learning, how to land the plane on these podcasts. Maybe you can teach me a little bit more about it. Tell us your future plans, and once again, tell us where we can find you, and if there's anything our listeners can do to help you, maybe help to get some more definitive evidence.
Well, like I said during the podcast, I have my webpage finally went up. It's Agents of the Unexplained.net. There's a reporting form if they want to report something.
Oh, cool.
They can fill out online there and hit send, and it comes to my email. No one else can see it but me if they don't want no one to know.
Right, stay anonymous. Okay.
Yes. If they don't want their name put out there, I won't do it. They don't want the location. Well, I don't give exact location. When I do able to give the location, it's a general area. I won't give exact location because we don't want
everybody going out. Right.
Disturbed. No, we don't play that. Unexplained. It's a private group. You have to join it because we had some trolls coming in there and starting problems. And because it was a public group, I took it private because of that, especially when they jumped on one person who is my mentor, one of the nicest guys out there, him and his wife. They're the true 60 hippies. Peace and love, that type of stuff. And genuine, great hearts. And
right.
He's taught me a lot about researching too. And they start getting on him about the one picture he put up. And a couple of these trolls really got ignorant. Well, I booted them out, and a couple of my admins booted a couple more out. I said, that's it, private. I don't care. I'm not putting up with this shit. No more. This is a safe zone.
So it's also your Facebook page is the Agents of the Unexplained too.
Yes.
Okay.
And so is my podcast. And you can find it on YouTube. Subscribe, please, to my YouTube channel.
Yes, go over there and subscribe to Bill's show.
Yeah.
And what research his I guess you would say your new adventure in life, man. And I always really enjoy every time. I don't care if you're a person who likes to make downhill racers or cheese or whatever. If you find your passion in life, whatever that may be, please go and do that, because that's your true calling or your true God. Or
my oldest friend I have out there, God bless him. He goes, I have never seen Bill so adamant in doing something like this ever. In the 50 plus years we've been friends. He says, and he's doing great. I went, thanks, buddy. Thanks. So I didn't do shit all my life till now.
And with that, Bill, I would really, from the bottom of my heart, I really appreciate the fact that you decided to come on and talk with me today.
There's one other thing I want to tell you.
Sure. I'm sorry.
Real quick.
Sure. Go for it.
March 30th this year at the Hickory VFW in Hermitage, Pennsylvania, we are having the Penn Ohio Paranormal Conference 2.
Okay.
It's the second one I'm putting on. I did it last year, and I was hoping to have 10 to 15 vendors. Hopefully get a couple hundred people to come through.
Okay.
Last year I had 30 vendors and over 1,000 people come through.
Holy crap.
This year I got 40 vendors, which I'm not taking no more. And then I got 5 speakers. It's going to be awesome.
The 30th of March, you're saying?
Yes.
Okay, so what I'm going to do for you, Bill, is I'm going to take and bump this episode ahead. I'm going to have to go through and redo some of my thumbnails, no big deal. And I can put you out, say, 2 weeks in advance. Would it be sufficient for you?
That'd be great.
Okay, man. So once again, thank you so very much for coming on the show. Wait just a second, and that way we can chat at the end.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed it.
I enjoyed it as well. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So that was the great Bill Rigby. That was some interesting stuff, especially where the branches that are pinned down point towards water and game trails. That's something I didn't know about yet. So thanks for listening to the show. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on the Eye of Jupiter podcast. You have been listening to the Eye of Jupiter podcast. If you have any strange occurrences, stories, or witnessed anything out of the ordinary, don't be afraid to send me an email at theeyeofjupiterpodcast@gmail.com, and maybe you will be on the show. And please remember, we are the Eye, and we are aware.